How would you like to know whether the person is going to be a prospect or not and whether he's going to buy before you even present your product or service? My name is Willke and I'm a sales, performance and leadership coach with Southwestern Consulting. I created a series of videos to talk about the psychology and really all of the steps of a sales cycle based on the methodology of Southwestern Consulting, a 160-year-old company that just deals with sales. Previously, we talked about pre-approach, we talked about approach, we talked about the importance of phone techniques, then we went into the most important part of the step, which is introduction. A lot of people miss that introduction, so I really wanted to dive into the introduction. In this video, we are going to be talking about an aspect and one exercise that you can do with anyone that you would like to see if they're a real customer or not, which is called the CLASP. If you're interested in this material, please subscribe to my YouTube channel here below. So let's dive in. We talked about the introduction last week, right? It's important for us to uncover the objections and make sure you understand what your customer really needs in order for you to know if your product or if your service is going to really make a difference in his life. A lot of salespeople miss that part. They jump that part. They want to talk about the product. They want to talk about the benefits. They just forget that we have, again, 2 ears and 1 mouth. We as salespeople need to be very careful and not just talk, but listen more than talk. The salesperson that listens the most is going to be probably the one that sells the most. Again, the difference between a normal salesperson and a top producer is that they know how to ask questions and they listen. Now, one of the big techniques for you to really understand and for you to know whether or not it is good for you to actually go into the presentation and go through all the next steps of the sales cycle is a wonderful tool that's called CLASP. C.L.A.S.P. CLASP, if we create a metaphor of CLASP, would be like, you know the woman's bracelet? When you put the bracelet on, it's not really tight, but it is tight, and then when you close it, it does this sound CLASP, right? So this is really what we design with the CLASP. It's a very natural way to close someone without the person realizing that we are closing this person and that we know that we have the product or service that this person really needs. So let's dive into it. This also works when you know that your client has a similar product or is using a similar service and you want to make sure that you have a chance to at least consider for the client to at least consider your product and maybe have the chance to switch products, right? So that's really works with that as well. So let's talk with the letter C. So letter C is currently. So when you meet your client, what I want you to do is to ask, what is your current situation? How does your current service do, right? What are they doing? What's part of the service? What are they currently doing? And they're going to talk about, yes, I'm doing X, Y, Z. The next step is actually like. And that's the very scary part. It's like? Why would I ask my prospect what they like about the product that they have right now? Shouldn't we just talk about the negative part of them? That is the differentiation of a good salesperson and an ethical salesperson from the rest of them. It is extremely important for you to understand what the person likes about their current situation and their current product so that you understand what you can offer more or less. So the question is, what do you like about your current product? What do you like about your current service? And listen. Great. So we are at C, currently, L, like. The next step is A. What could you alter or change on your current product to make it even better? Again, what could you change or alter in your current product or service to make it even better? That is the magic question. They told you everything that they like. They already opened up, right? They expected for you to actually ask that question before, but no, you actually wanted them to talk everything nice about the company. Oh, he's amazing. They have an awesome customer service. I like the quality of the product. Everything is great. And then the next question is like, great. What would you change so that it could become even better product? And then they would say, oh, now that you talk, the last time I taught customer service, it took an hour for me to talk to someone. If they could talk to me immediately, that would be better. Or, I wish they had an online service base. Right now I need to go to their office, but I wish they could do something online. Do you know what's happening here? When they say that, they're already giving you their pain. They're giving you the things that if you are able to give to them, obviously they will start looking at you. And they might consider your product. Then S, very important. We make a big mistake as salespeople to talk to anyone that's in front of us, and then we realize that that person cannot make the decision to buy or not. Have you gone through this? You make this amazing presentation, you talk to everyone, and then suddenly it's like, I love it. I need to talk to my boss and see if he can really do it. Or I need to talk to my partner. We both make decisions together. Or, the worst question, I need to talk to my wife. You heard that before, right? So before you even go into the presentation and spend all your time wasting, you need to ask the question, are you the one that actually can make a decision if it's something that's for you or not? Or do you need to have someone else in our meeting so that we can make a decision today? Again, you need to certify if the person you're talking to is the person who can make a decision whether they can buy it or not. If they're not there, you need to stop the meeting immediately and reschedule. Or you need to get that person into that meeting right now. So that's the S. Once the person says, no, I'm in charge and I can make a decision. Are you sure? Or do you need anyone else? No, I'm in charge. Good. We can continue the presentation. And then we go P, which is paint the picture. Brain works with pictures. Brain loves detail. Brain loves stories. They don't love your product. They love the stories behind the product. So now you know that you are with your person that actually is making the decision. You know what things they would like to have better in their current product or service so that they really would love the product. So now you have the two amazing questions, right? Information. Now, obviously, it's time to be ethical and realize if your product really can do what they want to do, right? So, for example, if someone would say, oh, I love my product, but I wish it could have a camera. Like, let's talk about a mobile phone, right? You have a mobile phone and this mobile phone cannot do videos. And when you ask, like, what do you like about your phone? I love the phone because it takes pictures, it's small, I love the company, they have amazing customer service. And then you say, well, what would you alter to make it even better? Dietrich, if it had a camera, God, it would be the best product in the world. And you now look through your brain and you're like, my phone has a camera. You probably have a sale. If you have someone who can make the decision because you ask the person, if you have something, can you make the decision or not? Yes, I can make the decision. Great. Now it's time to paint the picture. And that's how it works. Great. If you had a product that would give you amazing customer service with a wonderful camera and on top of it had an amazing video, would that be something that would be interesting and would you actually consider looking at that? Again, if you had something and then you add all of the things they liked, right, about the product, he already told you, plus if I still could add the thing that he wanted to change, would it be something that you would be at least considered in looking at or interested in buying? If the person says yes, you probably have a sale and you didn't even show your product yet. If the person says no, he's probably not a buyer. And you're able at that point to either go directly to referrals or stop everything and it's your decision. But normally when people say no at that point, they're probably not a customer, and you should not be wasting your time and going to someone that actually says yes to that question. That's what I want to talk about CLASP. This can be designed and can be molded to any business model. And it is extremely important for you to not waste your time with someone that might not even be a prospect. Next, we're going to be talking about the wonderful part which everybody wants to, which is the presentation, right? So next week, we're going to talk about presentation. For those of you who have not subscribed to my channel, do it now. And I hope to see you next week.